Welcome, recovering people pleasers. I can't wait to share this information with you all today because these are actually near and dear to my heart. These are things that I did myself because I do not share anything with anybody out in the world that I have not done myself. And I know that these things work because as a recovering people pleaser myself, I have run the gamut with trial and error and practicing things over the past 10 years. And I have come to a place in my life where I know without a doubt, 100%, hands down, what works to help you heal. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen Brown, and I'm a spiritual and empowerment author, mentor, and healer. And I help people break free from lopsided and painful relationship patterns by reclaiming your personal power, healing your self-worth, and upgrading your confidence. If you're new here and this sounds like something that is interesting to you, then I highly recommend that you hit that subscribe button and join this beautiful community of empowerment seekers and self-healers. The first thing we must do when we want to reclaim our personal power is we need to ditch self-pity. And I know that's a hard thing for some people because they're like, but wait, you don't understand. You don't understand how my life has been. You don't understand the things that I've gone through or the people that I'm dealing with. And I raise both my hands when I tell you things have not been easy for this girl. I've gone through a lot in my life. You'll have to take my word for it. But I've been through the ringer. I've had a lot of hell on earth. And I will tell you that sitting in the pain of self-pity never helped me at all. In fact, it keeps us stuck. At some point, we've got to make that decision that we're no longer going to be the victim of everybody and everything around us. We have to rise into our inner warrior because guess what, y'all? We all have it. We all have this inner mechanism inside of us that says, there's something better out there. But many times it's scary for people to break free from what they have always known and what they have always done because they're afraid that life is going to be uncontrollable or something that they don't recognize. But I'm here to tell you, when you start to break free from your self-pity and you start to see life through a completely different lens, something is going to magically shift. And that's because your energy right there is going to upgrade. And universe is automatically going to meet you at that upgrade. Keep in mind too, that universe is all loving and all supportive and all giving. So anytime we upgrade our energy, we're actually going to get better experiences to us. However, if we're living in victimhood, that can't happen. So the first thing we must do is ditch that self-pity and know that we have everything we need inside to upgrade our life and be willing to do that. The second thing you must be willing to do, which is a little hard, it's a little tricky, and a lot of people don't like when I say this, is we have to be willing to let go of people and things that no longer serve us. And you already know who they are or what they are. Many times as human beings, we want to hold on to those things because they feel comfortable. They're in the known part of our life. So in some strange way, because they're familiar, they feel comfortable to us, even if they're not good for us. As I've grown on my healing path, a lot of people fell out of my life. And at the time, it felt a little weird to me because I'd grown accustomed to having them around. I liked them, maybe even loved them, but I could always see in hindsight, I could always tell that it was purposeful and it was for my personal development and growth that I needed to let those people go because I had attracted them from a level of energetic vibration at that time. And my growing was creating a disconnect, and staying tethered to them is like holding onto a balloon and tying it to a brick. It's keeping you down. So we must be willing to move on and let go of those people. That doesn't mean that we need to hate them or wish them harm or ill will or anything like that. There's something called letting go with love. And anytime that someone was being removed from my life, I always sat quietly in a space if I was thinking about them, and I sent them love on their journey. Because the truth is that we're all connected. And anytime that we're sending love, we are sending that love back to ourselves. But anytime we want revenge or we want them to feel bad or to miss us or all these type of things, we're actually putting out a karmic energy that we don't want to come back to us. So be willing to work on that. Fill your heart with love and then imagine them surrounded in a loving vibration, because this is going to keep your energy pure as you are moving forward on your path. The third thing is, and these are not necessarily in order because this is one of my all-time favorites and most important things that we can do, is we need to learn to love ourselves like it's our job. We are recovering people pleasers. That means that we are putting a lot of time and energy into loving other people, but with the unconscious motive to get back from them, to be liked, to be seen, to be validated, to be approved of, all of these type of things. Yet all of our energy is being fractured out into the outside world. We think that works for us, but it actually works against us. What will work for us is when we pull in much of that energy that is just being sent out there in vain because it's not getting returned back to us, and bring it into ourselves. We need to learn to forgive ourselves, give ourselves grace. We need to be compassionate and accepting of self. We need to respect and protect self. And we need to give ourselves loving and supportive self talk and to care for ourselves the same way that we would care for somebody that needs us, like a small child, a pet, or an elderly loved one. Self love is the miracle cure. And it is a word that is being thrown around a lot in the world today. In fact, I've seen videos that said 23 ways to love yourself. It's not that complicated. It is literally through the 5 self-love tenets that I just shared with you. In fact, I go into them at length in my book, The Recovering People Pleaser: A Spiritual Guide to Reclaim Your True Worth and Attract the Love You Deserve. I'll put the link right up here. It will also be in the description below. This book hit international #1 best-selling status in a number of hours. And the third thing is to establish clear boundaries. This is a tough one for a lot of people. In fact, clients that I have coached have even said things to me like, I don't even know what a boundary is, or I am so afraid to set a boundary. Oftentimes, people don't realize how hard it is for some people to set boundaries because we are so used to being a certain way. We're so used to overgiving and over accommodating that the fact of setting a boundary can be extremely scary. But this doesn't mean that you need to build Rome in a day. In fact, in my book, again, I'll bring this up again. I have a whole chapter on here about all the ins and outs of boundary setting. In fact, it might be laid out in a way that you have never heard before. So I highly recommend that you grab my book. Again, this is what works. We have to be willing to do the things it takes to actually heal our inner world because our outer world is always reflecting our inner world. And when we clean up our inner world, that's when things start to organically shift in our life. So by setting clear boundaries, what we're saying is, I matter, I am worthy, and this is not acceptable to me. But not only do we need to set healthy boundaries, because remember, boundaries are a request, and sometimes that means that people are not going to heed our boundaries. So what do we do with that? Do we still keep hanging out with them? No. We have to preserve our energy. Like the self-love tenet said, respect and protect. If somebody is not going to heed your boundary, you really have to think about not having them in your life or not having them in your life as much. And boundaries are the way that we learn who people are and how willing they are going to be to show up to meet our needs and to respect us in the way that we desire. And the fifth thing is that you must practice saying no. This is a hard thing for a lot of people because we are so used to saying yes. We don't want to upset people. We don't like when someone gives us the stink eye. We don't like when someone turns their back on us, doesn't text us back, alienates us, acts like we did something terribly wrong because we said no to them. That just touches us in a way that makes you feel like you are bad. And because people pleasers are so in the business of trying to get people to like them, it's very difficult to say no. So this is why I said practice, because all of this is a becoming. We are stepping into our whole selves. We are learning to love ourselves and care for ourselves, protect ourselves in a way that we never have before. So it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel uncomfortable because it is not our normal status quo. But I promise you this, the more that you practice it, the easier it gets. And not only that, when you have those people that consistently push against you, like sometimes our closest family can, the more you say it and the more you stand in it, the more they're going to respect that. And also, when you come back to them with very powerful yeses and really spend your time and energy with them, they're going to realize that you're not so fractured out with all of these yeses out here that your yes is just this little measly yes, and you'll spend a little bit of time or do a little bit of something or not have your full heart in it. But when you learn to say no to a lot of requests that are coming your way, then your yeses are going to be more powerful. And actually, your loved ones are going to appreciate it more than you might even possibly think. And if you would like a little help with this, I have a beautiful download called Say No with Confidence: 25 Ways to Politely Decline without guilt. And I'll put the link right up here. It is a beautiful and simple PDF with 25 scripted ways that you can politely decline. Now, why is it important that we have this? Because many times as recovering people pleasers, we get tongue-tied and we feel like we can't say no, or maybe it sounded bad, or that we were being rude. So knowing that we're saying it in a way that is very polite, it's very to the point, then we can rest in knowing that we didn't do anything bad when we said that no. Reclaiming your personal power and stepping into your whole and complete worth is going to be the most important work you ever do on this journey here on earth. You will also discover that you are going to step into this new, shinier, more beautiful, more rested, more relaxed, and more peaceful version of yourself, which actually is going to vibrate out into the people around you, and they are going to benefit from your healing. If you've enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend you watch this video next. And don't forget to give me a like, share with someone you love, and leave me a comment below. And once again, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. Much love, everybody.